with this woman? You know, the one who works hard, has a good salary, went back to school, got her master's degree, graduated top of her class. She's personable, she's intellectual, she's well-rounded and interested in everything, but she's still single. No? Okay, maybe you know this woman. She's active in her spiritual walk. She's always finding ways to serve the Lord. She knows the scriptures word for word, and you just know in your heart a woman like that has to have a marriage as solid as rock, but still no husband. All right, maybe you know this woman. She's the community activist. She embraces her natural hair, skin, and body. She's always finding ways to serve the community, looking out for different causes, and always seeking opportunity to educate people, our people, on their Black roots. Everyone knows this woman and a lot of people respect her, but again, to your surprise, no husband. Do you know any of these women? Because I am seriously confused how all of these ambitious, task-oriented, goal-focused women have all the tools of what it takes to have a man, but don't. And I can imagine a lot of women like these gathering together at a local bagel shop and talking amongst themselves, what is wrong with these men? I mean, we have it all together. We do all these things. Why are we still single? There's something wrong with these men. They ain't nothing. I asked the question because you may know this woman, because you might resonate with one or all of these women. But instead of asking the timeless question over and over again of what is wrong with these men, let's flip the script for a second and ask, what is wrong with us women? What we as women need to understand is that the skills that might make you successful in the community or in the workplace aren't necessarily the skills that'll make you successful while in a relationship. See, a lot of women, single women especially pertaining to this topic, have this linear way of thinking. They're self-reliant, self-focused, always positioning themselves to go higher on the corporate ladder, but relationship building requires a different set of skills. And see, these skills require making decisions that don't always gratify you. They also gratify others. Sometimes you may have to sacrifice or compromise and do things to keep the peace rather than always achieving the goal. You will learn that in order to maintain a harmonious relationship, you aren't always going to be able to take the linear line between two set points. You might have to stoop down and humble yourself to yield to keep the peace. I don't think we understand how important it is for a man, a Black man at that, to feel respected in his own home, and as the head at that. Every day they go out and their manhood is challenged by egotistical bosses or our very own woman demeaning them. Can't even say hello, can't even say thank you for opening the door for them. A simple gratitude to show some type of appreciation is lacking. A lot of modern women are so self-sufficient, so independent, so committed to their career and the cause that their whole persona cries out, I don't need a man. And so they end up without. A man can be interested, but they'll quickly get its step in when they realize that you leave little to no room for them in your life. Now hear me out and understand what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that we shouldn't be goal-oriented or ambitious. No, we love to see an intellectual and educated Black woman. I mean, come on. That's not the problem. The problem is when all of this consumes your life and it then puts your partner on the back burner. And so much so to the point that you no longer see him as a priority because now you're married to the books. The books get all your time and attention. You don't have time to ask him about how his day was. You don't have time to cook him a nice warm meal. You don't have time to ask him about his concerns because you're so preoccupied with yours. Like, things like this happen way too often, and the man leaves and the woman is drawing 50 wishing that she prioritized differently when she was younger and in her prime. It's just so easy to win the world and lose your man. I mean, if you want to fight for the cause, fight for your rights, fight for your people, okay, that's cool. A fighting spirit is needed on the battlefield, but what's needed on the home front is a gentle spirit. We're so busy trying to be hard workers that we forget our basic feminine attribute. The things that set us apart from men, like our nurturing nature, our calmness, our gentleness, our soft spirits. These are things that men love and long for in a wife. And I know hearing this isn't always the easiest transition, especially for a lot of modern women, and especially with the media portraying this type of lifestyle as being outdated, oppressive, and degrading. You probably watching this right now thinking, oh no, I could never do that. I know too many weak, untrustworthy, and unstable men. Okay, but sis, you gotta admit that we as women also can be weak, unstable, and untrustworthy as well. And willful at that. Because not having a husband means that you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want to do it, and not have to answer to anyone in the process. Having a husband would mean that you would have to surrender that power and submit to his leadership and guideship. And to some people, especially a lot of these independent women today, is a nightmare. But child, I'm here to tell you, it is nothing like that. I'm here and I am loving that lifestyle. I love not being able to struggle on my own. I love being able to have a partner that I communicate with and ask him about tough decisions, and I can trust his leadership because I know in getting to know him as a partner while we were courting that this man has a head on his shoulders and he wants what's best for me. I know he's not going to lead me astray, and even if he were to walk me off a cliff, I can bet my bottom dollar that there is something at the bottom there to catch us. I trust him. I'm sure if you could be honest with yourself, you're double-minded because you fear commitment on one end and yet you fear being single and lonely on the other. And so you consume yourselves with work, school, and more in hopes of filling that void, but that way of escape will only last but so long. I feel like we as women need to do less and be more. Be still and know that there's more to life than this degree. Be still and know that there's more to life than getting the bag. Stop competing with these men and trying to be greater or equal to them because it's never going to happen in the least, sis. Start learning to collaborate with them. Channel that masculine energy into some serenity and softness. The more you're out of touch with your feminine nature, the more you'll be out of touch with our men. You weren't meant to be the head of everything, sis. It's okay to fall back under the leadership of a great man. I remember a special date night with my husband. It was a salsa night and we knew nothing of the sort. We had a really nice couple teach us some moves, and I quickly learned that some songs required the man to take the lead. He had his steps and I had mine. If I ever at once tried to take the lead and do his steps, instead of looking like a beautiful dance, like, Dancing on the Stars, it would look like Dancing on Mars. And so I let him lead. I let him take my hand while I simply went with the flow. I didn't feel inferior. I didn't feel oppressed. I felt happy knowing that we were both creating beautiful rhythmic patterns with our distinct roles. A lot of you have learned and mastered how to dance solo. Now you have to learn to accept his lead and to take his hand and go with the flow. He might step on your foot now and then as he's learning to dance with you as well. But it's okay. Go with the flow and encourage him if he might slip up, if you might seem a little offbeat now and then. Encourage him, build him up. Hang up the cape of Miss Masculina and take the time to learn your true feminine roles and nature. I hope this video was helpful and I'll see you guys in my next one. Shalom.